How did this movie make 400 plus million at the worldwide box office, despite the fact that Whitney and Kevin were at the peak of their careers? The writing was so motherfucking shit. It was so motherfucking shit. I'm sorry to the memory of Whitney Houston for ruining this terrific song in this bad, terrible shit of a movie. But let's get to the goddamn review. I'm John Rant with the retro view of The Bodyguard, because Frank, if you'll be her bodyguard, she will be your long lost pal, and then you'll sleep with her, because that's how these movies work, because we need a trite love story where she won't even have to call you Al. Okay, so I ruined 2 songs right there, but yes, The Bodyguard. Okay, I'm going to be perfectly honest here. I love the soundtrack to this as far as Whitney Houston's songs, because I love Whitney Houston. If anybody was close to Aretha Franklin's level of talent and vocal skills, I would say Whitney Houston was there. Whitney Houston was fucking tremendous. The amount of iconic songs she came up with, she was so fucking goddamn good. It's just a shame that the unreleased version of Singing in the Bathtub really didn't end up, doing so much for her career. Anyway, and man, like mother, like daughter. Okay, so assuming that any more Whitney Houston fans are following me after that, let's talk about this movie. It's dog shit. It's one of the worst fucking movies of the 90s, at least with a big budget. Seriously, this movie is just a vehicle to have, hey, it's Whitney Houston. She's really popular. She's a great singer. Queen of the Night's one of my favorite songs, like just to bop to. It's really great. Bop. I believe that's how the kids say it. It's really goddamn good. And I Will Always Love You and many other songs. Whitney Houston was so fucking goddamn gifted. But then, of course, there wasn't crack in the bathtub. There was, crack is whack. Bobby! Oh, yeah, if you've never seen this movie, you are in for an experience. Not a good experience, mind you, because this is every, drama cliche and stalker cliche, Human Centipede together. This came out in 1992 when Kevin Costner was still seen as an A-list actor. He'd been in Field of Dreams. He'd been in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He hadn't done Waterworld yet. He hadn't done Mr. Postman, the Postman yet. Nope, he did this. And this movie is directed by Mick Jackson. It's just the most generic name right there. He directed L.A. Story, Clean Slate, and Volcano. Oh, he directed Volcano. That might explain why this movie is shit. Dante's Peak's bastardized cousin. It was funny how for a number of years, you had Dante's Peak, you had 2 Volcano movies come out in the same year, and then you had 2 asteroid movies come out in the same year in '98, and then you had 2 Mars-based movies come out, and then you just had studios that were competing to see who could do the shittier movie but make the bigger box office return, and it wasn't always the one that came out first, because Deep Impact came out first and Armageddon smashed it, and Dante's Peak did better than Volcano, I believe. And Dante's Peak destroyed a fucking town. For that goddamn shit movie. I should retro review those. Anyway, let's talk about this. It was written by the same guy that wrote Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Return of the Jedi, Silverado, Wyatt Earp, Force Awakens. He wrote other movies. Lawrence Kasdan is his name, by the way. But Silverado, one of my favorite westerns, at least as far as the modern age goes of the last 40 years. Silverado was fucking tremendous. Look up the cast. That was great. The Wyatt Earp 1994 version, unfortunately, had to follow Unforgiven and Tombstone. Tombstone is one of my top 5 favorite westerns of all fucking time. And this stars Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston, Gary Kemp, Bill Cobbs, who, great actor, by the way, and Ralph, wait, you have to wait for this, Ralph. You have to wait for your cue. Aha, I should have said that first. That would have been funny. No, it wouldn't have. And various other people. You also had Michelle Lamar Richards as Nicky. Okay, so if you've never seen The Bodyguard, basically Kevin Costner is a former secret agent man who's on the hire for a plan. And if you give him a bunch of money, he will protect your ass from getting shot and getting killed. And, well, okay, enough. He is he helped protect Jimmy Carter. He also helped protect Reagan. And Reagan wasn't shot on his watch because he was gone that day. He was sick that day or something. They never really specified. You know, for a 2-hour movie, actually it was just over 2 hours. This movie really seemed like it was like 4 hours. Like it just, and not in an epic way. Like, oh, I didn't want to stand. It was so fleshed out. This movie simultaneously felt so stretched out, yet it felt like it had chunks cut out of it. Like stuff would just suddenly be there. Like we would just have, people. We'd have characters here, and then bing, we'd have these characters here. Oh shit, we only got a few minutes left. Let's just throw these, plot devices at the goddamn wall and see what sticks. Let's just throw this guy in here for no goddamn reason. Let's throw this in. Let's make it so goddamn obvious who's in on this whole goddamn plot from the word go. If you can't figure out, if you've never seen this, and you can't figure out in the first 15 minutes, at least somebody in Whitney Houston's, her sister. It's her sister because her sister hates her, by the way. I should just say that. If you can't tell from the word go, they made it so obvious. Oh, then you guys need to watch more movies. Also, the camera work in particular was just ass. I don't know if it was because of the print that's on HBO Max or what it is, or that's just the way it was shot, but it was not stylish. It was all weird and everything, and it felt off. And the music outside of Whitney Houston's songs, and a couple of the other, lyrical song choices, the orchestral part, was really shit. This was really this is a strictly early 90s movie with a big budget. I mean, it had $25 million sunk into it. And I would imagine that $5 million of that probably had to go to Costner and Whitney themselves just to say, yeah, can you be in this absolute tripe? And then we'll just sprinkle some action scenes in there for no reason. And oh yeah, you guys fall in love and fuck off camera, and we don't care what happens because this is going to make boatloads of money. And it did. We didn't get the Bodyguard 2 Electric Boogaloo, but we did get this. So at least, this was Whitney pre-crack. It's really a shame to see, how, drugs took a hold of her. Because, my God, you talk about an iconic voice. Fucking great. It's just, if only she took showers instead of baths. I already said that joke. So, this was just a vehicle to get Whitney Houston into Hollywood. And it wasn't even a good vehicle. It was a vehicle that crashed, like, Left Eye Lopez's in South America. So, since I've offended just about everybody that's a fan of hip-hop or music, let's get back to this. You don't look like a bodyguard. Aren't you awfully short for a stormtrooper? But can they get along? I'm sorry, that was a WWE thing. Actually, that is the thing, because Kevin Costner is dedicated to his work. He has a tragic backstory, obviously. Why the fuck wouldn't he if he was in this line of work? And Whitney, Rachel, actually likes him. She didn't even try to, nobody tried to act in this. Nobody tried to act in this. And if they try, well, actually, that's unfair. The kid, I think, did fine. But when your most developed character in the movie is a Saint Bernard, that's not, I love dogs, don't get me wrong, I love cats more, but when the best, part of your movie is a Saint Bernard that had one of the best scenes in when he was just sleeping against a door, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. So why was this movie so shit? Pretty much from the beginning, Kevin Costner, protects a guy and shoots a guy and everything. They have no music over the credits. No music. They just show title, Costner, Houston, da, 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 and then they cut to Kevin Costner's character, Frank Farmer. Man, it's the FF'er. He shoots some guy, and then we find out that he's being asked by Bill Cobbs' character, hey, can you come help this person? Can you please come help this person? Rachel, she's a really famous pop singer. I don't do celebrities. Aha, but you do later. That's because this explosion happened right after that shooting scene. Just an explosion happens. Okay, what the fuck is going on? Why are these explosions happening? Apparently, somebody is trying to get to Rachel because they either hate her, or love her, or maybe they were trying to prevent her from maybe they were telling her, damn it, you stupid bitch, take showers instead of baths, and then you would have been still here, and your daughter would have learned, bathing techniques from you. I am an absolutely terrible person for saying that, but I don't care. Her son is probably the smartest character in the movie, while the dog is the most fleshed out character, and talks about boats and everything, and has a little, boat that's battery operated, foreshadowing for that a little bit later. And there's a stalker guy. There's actually three villains in this. There's this creepy guy that's got huge hair that's, just sending her letters and everything, but he's just a stalkerish fan. He's not actually doing anything bad. And then it's so goddamn obvious the sister's in on it, because you can see how Whitney treats her sister. Even though she's a famous pop star, she doesn't try to treat her bad, but you can just tell because she's so wrapped up in trying to make these music videos and make all this famous stuff and be at the Oscars and everything. The only way Whitney was going to ever win a goddamn Oscar was for a song. It sure wasn't going to be for her acting ability. It's not right, but it's okay for me to feel this way. And I don't care because I'm seen as an asshole forever. Well, okay, can't get that song there, but it's not right, but it's okay. So, yeah, God damn it. And then the music, God, the generic music in any scene. There's this point in the movie where, after the giant doggo gets a couple scenes, the Queen of the Night, song, that performance was pretty cool because she's trying to get back out and do her career and everything. And she's got this sidekick, if you will. This guy, it's actually named Cy. Please laugh. It's the only way I can justify my existence. And the performance goes tits up because people are trying to get on stage and dance with her and everything. And then she gets pushed into the crowd, and she had the weird gear. It's weird metal gear she had on in that video. I thought she was trying to be the robot from Metropolis. If you get it, you get. That's an old fucking reference. Need to watch that. And she gets swept away, not the Madonna movie, by Kevin Costner, while about 100 fans get punched out by a couple security guard guys. Because why not? The action scenes and the fight scenes in this movie just randomly appeared. Just for no goddamn reason. Like, shit, we need something. Throw an action scene in there. I don't know. And they end up, Frank is there, and then this guy, the other drunk guy, the drunk security guard guy, tries to get at her, or tries to get at him, rather, and lazily punches him and everything, and then they fight. They break about, I'd say about $5,000 worth of silverware and dishes and stuff like that, and he's just eating an apple, and then the guy tries to grab. This scene just ends. It just ends. It just ends out of nowhere. It just for no reason. It started from nothing, and it ended in nothing. And then Rachel is shaken, but not stirred by that, and obviously cares for Frank, and Frank cares for her. They go on a date, and they decide to dance at a after having a bit of a dinner, Frank kind of lets her in, like thinking that she knocked his a love that he lost or whatever, like that got shot. No, she just didn't love me anymore. Oh, you asshole! And then the country version of "I Will Always Love You" is playing, and I have this generic dance is what I wrote down because it's so sweet and everything, and it's so bad. It's so goddamn bad. And it's not like this movie was necessarily made for, it was not necessarily made, I guess, for guys. It was mostly made for women, but you could argue that about Waiting to Exhale, and I actually enjoyed Waiting to Exhale. That was a good movie that Whitney was in, and it was a great guy, and I believe Angela Bassett was in that, and I do not understand how Angela Bassett looks the same there as she does now. Magic. Fucking man. Maybe she really is that voodoo queen that she was in American Horror Story. Anyway, so there's a giant katana sword because they watched Seven Samurai earlier in theaters, and because why not? And he puts the shawl over the shirt, or the sword, and it cuts. And that's enough for them to fuck for no reason. If I knew it was that easy, I still wouldn't spend that much on a samurai sword, because I'm sorry, I don't spend that much on relationships. Seriously, I don't think you understand how much I loathe relationships. I prefer just to be on my own, producing videos like this, watching movies, and having my own money. So, but the romance is forbidden. He can't do that. He can't protect her like that, even though she's upset. So she kind of turns into an understandable bitch, because I don't think he was meaning to be mean, but he didn't want to get too involved in case she got shot. Okay, understandable, generic, but whatever. They're at a luncheon. I love Miami, and then this is moving really quickly. There's this guy that shows up. His name is Portman, and he says that he used to work with Frank. Well, he says that to Rachel, and Frank doesn't know about this stuff. Well, then, oh no, it turns out that this guy actually is the villain, even though you'd be able to fucking figure that out if you hadn't been bludgeoned in the head so goddamn much. I swear what they must have done is they must have said to Lawrence, here's $1 million, write a movie that we can put Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner in. We don't care how it turns out. Here we go. That was 10 minutes. Yeah, go fucking do it. Yeah, thanks for the million. Because this movie, seriously, if it wasn't written in 10 minutes, it was probably written in a day. And I'm not even knocking Lawrence. He probably just lazily wrote it because he's like, I'm getting paid, so I don't fucking care. So, she gets with this guy Portman for a bit, but then refuses because she doesn't want to do it. No means no, by the way, guys. And it's obvious that this guy is the villain, and that that since she refuses advances, he was going to do this shit anyway. So Rachel is drunk and upset, and all whatever, and then we get a random shopping trip for no goddamn reason. We get we get Kevin Costner being upset, and he's telling a guy to move, and then punches this guy out. This guy is part of the hotel staff or whatever, and I don't know why he did that. I don't have a clue. Maybe he was the doorman. I don't know. He just punched that out, and then Whitney gets a call. I'm sorry, Rachel gets a call. Is this Fletcher? No. He actually wasn't British. That was another guy, but still. No, Sydney. Sorry, that's the Scream shirt back there. And the Scream shirt back there. So, who is this mysterious person? Well, the big-haired guy's doing all this shit. Frank tells Rachel, cancel all your concert dates, give everybody days off. I will take you somewhere safe. So he takes him to his dad's cabin. His dad regales him with stories and everything about how he was there when he wasn't there when Reagan got shot and all this stuff and everything. The movie wasn't going anywhere anyway, and just grinds to a goddamn halt at this point, and we just become like, oh, Woodsy, who's Woodsy Czar? I have no clue. And they're just there having fun, playing chess, whatever. And then Frank basically, what ends up happening is Nikki kind of gets a little nosy a little bit later and says, why stop at one sister when you can fuck them both? But she was all drunk and everything. Why was she drunk? Because she's in on this whole thing. And she knows that they're not safe at the cabin, but she's not going to say anything until Nikki is suddenly singing church music the next day after being drunk. And Rachel joins her. And you can see Nikki just like, great, my more talented sister's here. And Fletcher decides to go on a boat because he likes boats, as previously stated in the movie. So he goes out there, but it's an icy lake. There's snow surrounding on these mountains, or on these surrounding mountains, and they go. And then all of a sudden, he dives, he knocks him out of the boat, but trying to save him because he didn't want him getting out there. And since there's only one boat, he didn't want to try to swim. He gets him there. Obviously, they're freezing water. They forget about this plot device, by the way, a little bit after. And oh no, how are we going to get the boat back? Boom, the boat blows up. How'd the boat blow up? Who got to the boat? How would this person know when to get there? Oh, it turns out that, Nikki knew who did it because she set this whole thing up. She didn't know about the letters, but the letters are reflecting her thoughts. She went to an East LA club, as one does, and sets up a hit on her sister, as one apparently does, and decides to get her... And decides, she hates her. She wants her out of her life and everything. But she didn't mean to hurt Fletcher. I didn't want anyone to get hurt except her. What do you think was going to happen with a madman that had a gun? As opposed to a madman with a pencil. I'm going to make this pencil disappear. Boom! So, all of a sudden, they end up... By the way, the cars are dead during this. Just before that. They can't leave. The cars are dead. The power's out for whatever reason. Or the power's not out. Maybe the dad forgot to pay the electrical bill. Maybe the generator decided to get up and walk out of the movie from embarrassment. And he's going to keep going until he kills her. Well, then Nikki gets shot because why the fuck? Now, no one, the one that paid you. Boom. We don't see who it is. It's Portman, by the way. And they... Costner just dives out a window, like a sugar glass window, and then just tumbles in the snow, and he just decides it's foggy in his spot, and then not foggy in the woods, and he decides to close his eyes and just shoot, and almost hits the guy. I can shoot you with my eyes closed. And then he chases that person away. Somehow they get back to reality. Oop, there goes gravity. Maybe they fix the cars. Maybe the cars magically fix themselves through the miracle of magic, space, and film magic. And then they caught the creepy guy who sent the letters, but that's all he did. Well, wait, they couldn't have been him. Who was it that was up here? Who? And, well, you want some liquor with your OJ? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You want to liquor while you, drink your OJ. Saw that going differently in my head. So Fletcher's talking to Frank, all this, because he witnessed this stuff happening. He's scared, but Frank's also scared because he wants to make sure he's there. He doesn't want her to get hurt. He doesn't want anybody to get hurt. And she asks, this isn't over yet, is it? Well, obviously the love has been re-sparked because she's got saved. And then the Oscars are here. My God, the cheesiness, the absolute cheesiness. Naked Gun 33 1/3 did the Oscars better. That's saying something. That movie came out a year after, and it was a comedy. This is an unintentional comedy. This movie's fucking hilarious if you realize it's an unintentional comedy. And hey, it's the guy, it's that Portman guy. Oh no, he punches one guy out and gives him a black eye and everything. Actually, almost seemingly plucks his eye because he's got an eye patch over there. And Frank ends up stopping him, ends up shooting him, but gets shot in the process. And the guy had a camera rifle because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have that? Did nobody check this stuff at the Oscars? Seriously, what the hell's going on? Rachel basically wants to make sure, oh no, it's like, I hope you're okay. And then, all right, so we flash forward a little bit later. Costner is, and I'm sorry, I can't help but call him Costner. He's, seeing her off and everything, got her a new, bodyguard. But obviously, love will conquer all. But he is taking somebody else under his wing, or taking charge of somebody else. But obviously, the love will continue to spark. And what happens? They freeze on Kevin Costner's face while a guy's holding the cross. Okay, well, and I will always love you plays. This movie is one of the worst goddamn things. It takes 2 hours, 2 hours and 9 minutes to get done what should have taken an hour and 40 minutes. Maybe an hour 30. This movie had no right to be as long as it was. It had no right to be as bad as it was. This was seriously just made just to get Whitney Houston, who was great for many years, into Hollywood. And she stumbled and cracked her head on the bathtub. Anyway, on that note, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.